Hi everyone, welcome to Passion Talk, an initiative by Times Passion Trails. It is an exclusively curated series of masterclasses where experts talk about their art, the inspiration, the stories, and their passion behind it. Our experts have specially crafted the subject for their masterclasses, sharing unique pearls of wisdom only they bring to the world. Get ready to discover flavors of traditional cuisines and their origins, unlock the secret of Sufi music, and understand why it touches your soul the way it does. Understand the art of mixology, get to know how cooking is nothing short of creating a sensory masterpiece, and let a music maestro reveal the mysteries of poetry and music. Get ready to be inspired. Our masterclass today is Tale Behind Cocktail with Mr. Bartender Nitin Tiwari. Passion, imagination, dedication. These are the core values Nitin has believed in over 15 years of experience in the hospitality industry. Nitin worked his way up from a bartender to brand ambassador of leading brands to consulting as a trend setting bartender for best brands India has to offer. His illustrious work includes award winning bars such as Ek Bar New Delhi, which was India's first modern Indian cocktail bar, Mask in Mumbai, Rue in San Francisco, and Tully Joe in London, to name a few, along with many brand advocacies he has been carrying out under Bartender Private Limited. His constant quest for doing more led him to open Together at 12th, a freestyle restaurant and cocktail bar on the 12th floor of the Le Meridien in Gurgaon. The space has been created to promote everything local, food, farmers, crafts, and craftsmanship with the aim to be seasonal and sustainable. Welcome, Nitin.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the beautiful introduction. And I'd like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my journey and my passion with everyone. Times Passion Talks is an amazing platform for everyone like us to share our journeys with everyone. And thank you, Times India, to come up with these where we can share our experiences and journeys with people across the globe through this medium.
Thank you. Indeed, Passion Talk by Time Passion Trail is a platform where we live the passion that people like you have been living all along. Uh, Tell us about your journey, Nitin, from bartender to bartender. Take us through that passionate journey.
Yes, a lot of people say that there's a spelling mistake in bartender, but there's a very funny way how I got that name from bartender to bartender. I started around 15 years back when I was still in school, so pretty much illegal to serve drinks, but I was serving non-alcoholic drinks.
Mhm.
And it was my cousin who is into the same business,
Mhm.
who was into the same business of serving alcohol and everything. He was doing freelance bartending. So what I did was I started helping him out in doing freelance parties. And he took me for one of the parties that was happening in Rajasthan, somewhere in the deserts, some big wedding. And I just went to help him out to stack up the bar, like stack up juices and everything. He gave me the responsibility of mixing juices and make nice fancy mocktails. And while I was doing it, I realized that I was having really good fun and I was really loving
Mhm.
of how to mix different juices, like mixing pineapple with orange and putting some like mint flavor and making a drink out of it. And I developed an interest, and I was like still at 11th class right then at that time. Making colorful drinks, putting nice fancy garnish and everything. And my brother said, like, if you're interested, you should start reading books about it. And I was like, oh, there are books about making drinks. I was like, that's great. And I continued on that journey even after 12th. At that time there was no one doing
Mhm.
hotel management or something. I continued doing hotel management, uh, worked in hotels, and I followed my passion of becoming a bartender. Whereas everyone wanted to become an engineer and doctor in that era, I wanted to be a little different and do something where I can show my creativity and passion for the drink. That led to where I am today, where I was able to set trends in bar.
Lovely. And Nitin, glad you touched upon this aspect of you doing hotel management to continue your passion of mixing drinks. Now, food and beverage, when we speak about, F&B seem to have missed B for a very long time. There wasn't much scope of beverages, the beverage menu was almost an afterthought that let's do the food first, we'll come up with beverage menu later.
I completely
Take us through that
I
journey.
completely agree. Like, when I started working in restaurants, in hotel industry, everyone was just concentrating on food part. The chefs were the stars. Maximum time innovation was done in food. Everyone was
Hmm.
paying attention towards what will the food menu, what will be the USPs of the restaurant. But no one thought that a drink can also pull people into a restaurant. People were doing, let's say, a Chinese themed restaurant, Italian themed restaurant, and they were doing drinks which food which was all Italian theme or Chinese theme, but things still remain the same, the old school drinks that were existing, like say mojitos or margaritas or daiquiris. No one thought about it, and that continued for really, really long. Uh, Still,
Hmm.
someone thought that drink is also something that people might be interested in having as bespoke, and then people started innovating, and I was lucky to be there in that time when people started innovating and taking it seriously, because beverage plays a very important part as revenue in a restaurant. A lot of people love to go and try to experience new type of drinks. Internationally, it
Hmm.
happened quite early. India came in a little late, but now people go out and experience new cocktails, new flavors. Now, when you go to Italian restaurant, you want to have some Italian flavor in your cocktail. You are looking for nice sangrias. You might be looking for a martini which has some olive or something like that into it,
Hmm.
and that's how this culture started. So, the food and beverage, which was one common word, suddenly the beverage part became a highlight. Now, bartenders are also a star. The beverage menu also becomes special, and that's how this whole industry is developing as well.
Lovely. And Nitin, when you see the beverages menu develop, various cocktails become a part of our lexicon. We know them as well as, like we at least know the names as well as the dishes that we order. The session that we are doing today is Tale of Cocktails. So tell us some of the interesting tales behind really nice cocktails that we keep ordering but know very little about.
Yeah, there is a reason.
And also do touch upon their evolution, how you've seen them evolve over the last 15 years.
Sure, sure. Like, see, cocktail is a word itself, like, it's PAILS, obviously, but if you pronounce it the same way, tales is stories. Now, every cocktail has a history, like how in food as well. Whenever you eat
Hmm.
something, when you talk about biryanis or any kebabs, everyone come back to you that, oh, this was created in this era, this is how it is. Similarly, cocktails have a lot of history behind it. There is a set of classic cocktails, which has been the recipes for which has been followed for years and years and has been passing through generations across the bars globally. All these cocktails have a story behind it, and that's what makes them more interesting, more fun for people to have. For example, I'm sure you might have had a drink called,
Hmm.
let's say, a Bloody Mary. It's a very popular drink. People love to have it during Sunday brunches. It's a drink
Yeah.
which has a very interesting name, Bloody Mary. Why will someone call a drink Bloody Mary? But the history goes back to Queen Mary Tudor, who was considered to be very bloody from her mind because she killed some people on
Hmm.
the name of because she had some personal issues with the king. And a bartender who was working in one of the bars, it was Harry's New York bar
Hmm.
in Paris. So he created this drink. His name was Fernando Petiot. He created this drink which was red in color because he was reading about this lady who
Hmm.
killed so many people, and he wanted to create a drink which represents the blood of so many people who had lost their lives. And he made a red drink and said, "I want to name it after that Bloody Mary, the lady."
Oh.
And that's how the name of the drink became Bloody Mary. And that's it's written about it everywhere. Like there are so many books about it and everything. And that's how classic cocktails have so much value behind it. It
Hmm.
doesn't even, it's not only about just a drink made by a bartender, it showcases the history as well. Similarly, there's a drink called daiquiri. I'm sure that so many people across the country, across the globe, drink it. It's one of the most popular drinks.
Hmm.
Daiquiri was created by a person named Jennings X. Cox. He used to work
Yeah,
as
yeah,
a mining
absolutely.
engineer. Now I'll give you a very and and I always tell bartenders whenever I do
Hmm.
training, this drink is scientific drink. Okay, how it works? Like whenever in summers, like unfortunately we are not going out nowadays, but if you go out in this hot weather, the first thing that you drink
Hmm.
when you come back is a new pani, which is citrus, sweet water put together because you dehydrate and you need to hydrate your body. So same thing used to
Yes.
happen with Jennings Scott because he was a mining engineer. He used to
Mm-hmm.
go inside the mines, and it used to be hot inside the earth. And he was in Cuba, Santiago de Cuba, and he used to feel very uncomfortable because whenever he used to go and do work, he used to feel
Mm-hmm.
dehydrated. And his job was dangerous, so he used to get quota, just like Indian Army, they get quota.
Mm-hmm.
So in Cuba also they get quota of rum. So he used to get rum. When they used to come back, he used to take sugar and lime, put it together, and
Okay.
hence a drink was born: rum, lime, sugar. If you see that, that's daiquiri. Now, everyone was enjoying this drink, rum, lime, sugar, but there was no name to this drink.
Oh.
And some people said that, we should name this before this drink becomes too popular and everyone starts having it and no one knows about it. They said, okay, let's name it after the place where we all work. The place was called Daiquiri. Daiquiri is the name of a small town in Santiago de Cuba, and that's why Daiquiri is called Daiquiri. So, if I start
Okay.
picking up all the classic cocktails, you will be
Oh,
amazed to
lovely.
listen so many beautiful stories. There's a story about Screwdriver.
Please,
Like
please. Would
Screwdriver
love
has
to
the
listen.
funniest story. Obviously, it is to like they have funny incidents as well. Like I remember my senior telling me in hotel one day a guest called room service. It happened in Hyatt. I can't name the staff and everything. And the room guest was like, "Hey, can you get me a screwdriver?" And
Mm-hmm.
the room service all together like, "Sir, what do you want?" "I want a screwdriver." It's like, "Okay, sir." And he keeps the phone. The staff was a little confused, but he called the maintenance department and he said, like, I need a screwdriver. It's like, okay, the maintenance department gets a screwdriver. He takes a tray, puts a cloth, take a screwdriver and goes to the room. And he said, like, "Sir, your screwdriver." He said, like, "No, I want a screwdriver drink, not a screwdriver." Because they literally took a screwdriver to the guest room because they didn't understood they want a screwdriver drink or literally a screwdriver. And that's literally a real story of how screwdriver was named. Screwdriver was created by a mechanic. He used to work out of his house, and his wife used to make this drink for him, which was vodka, ice, and orange juice. And now, if you put it in this way, like you put vodka, ice, and orange juice is heavy.
Okay.
It will mix automatically. One day, his wife
Mm-hmm.
forgot to put vodka. So what she did was she put
Mm-hmm.
ice, orange juice, and she put vodka on top. So what happened? The vodka was floating, and she took the drink. The mechanic had it and realized it was just pure vodka on
Okay.
top. So he just looked around. He picked up a screwdriver and stirred it because screwdriver is long like a spoon, and he just stirred it. And from that day till today, the drink is called screwdriver, and
Mm-hmm.
that's how the drink got its name. So there are a lot of funny stories,
Amazing.
like when you sit across a bar.
Lovely. I mean, the drinks, seriously, all the drinks that we are having, they have stories behind them. Tell us about the stories behind your drinks, Nitin. What kind of stories inspired you to make your
So
own
see,
cocktails?
what happens is like how these are created. Now every bartender, like me and many more, they always have a dream to create their own drink, and every bartender loves creating one. India as a country is full of ingredients. We have so many spices, we have so many flavors.
Mm-hmm.
Like every city, every state has too many spices and herbs, and we are lucky to be living in this country to have access to these, and we make new drinks every day. Now, when you make it, you get inspired from small things. Apart from making great drinks,
Yes.
my passion also lives in traveling. I love to travel, love to meet people, love to explore different cities, and that's where my inspiration for creating new
Mm-hmm.
drinks and creating new cocktails came. So I have something called Shake and Tails. So I shake drinks and create stories around it.
Okay.
Now, for example, I made a drink
Mm-hmm.
inspired from
Lovely.
Hyderabad. For example, I went to Hyderabad city and I had biryani and I made a drink around it. I will be making it
Oh.
in some time for you. I went to one of the
Mm-hmm.
drinks which became quite popular. It was called Curry Colada. This was inspired from Murugan Idli. I'm sure you all know Murugan Idli. I went to Chennai and had Murugan Idli in the morning. And I came back and I made a drink
Yeah,
around
yeah.
it. How? I took pina colada, which is a classic drink, which is pineapple, coconut, rum put together. And I said, in South India, people love coconut coming together with curry leaves. And how can I bring it all together? I said, like, perfect. Let's bring that flavor together. I put curry leaves into pineapple, fresh coconut water, little bit of lime, rum put together. And instead of a normal glass, I took a lota, like a brass lota, and I served it in that. And I put some banana chips next to it. and a new drink was formed, and I
Mhm.
call it the Murgan Colada or the Curry Colada. And that's how I normally come up with cocktail theme.
Lovely.
So every drink that I have created till date, you will see there is a lot of story, a lot of idea behind it, and that makes it really fun because when a guest is coming for a drink, they want to have a great tasting drink. That is one element of your
Mhm.
sense. I believe that there are five senses that a human being has. You need to touch these five senses to make an experience wow. Uh,
Yeah.
I call it that if you touch these five senses, you satisfy the sixth sense of a person. So if you make a great tasting drink, that's a taste. Your drink need to smell good, that's great. Your drink need to have a beautiful garnish, that's the
Mhm.
eye. Your drink need to, have a great story because you need to hear. And unfortunately, the only part a cocktail can't do, you can't take a glass and put it next to your ear and say like, "Oh, I can't hear your story." The only thing
Mhm.
that a bartender can do and add from your stuff, your thing, is the story part of it, and that's the very important part. The temperature and everything.
Nitin, I love to hear the story of City of Nizams, the drink inspired by biryani. Never heard that. Would love to hear this.
Perfect. Should I make it and should I tell you while should I make it and tell you the story as well?
Absolutely. That yeah, yeah.
Perfect. I have set up a bar. I will just make it and I'll show it to you. Okay, so the drink I'm gonna make for you is called City of Nizam. City of Nizam is a very popular
Yeah.
drink that I created with my team at Ek Bar.
Mhm.
Ek Bar was a modern Indian cocktail bar and in Delhi, where it's Colony.
Mhm.
And the idea was that inspired from a city in India called Hyderabad. And
Mhm.
and take an Indian drink, which is a very popular gin and tonic, because gin has an history that connects to India, because it uses a lot of spices, which is used in their production. Like for example, if you pick up a bottle of gin, you will see like at least this bottle has 10, and every different gin brand has many different spices put into it, which I call it botanicals. So I said, okay, that's great. So I have a spirit which has spices
Mhm.
and everything into it. That's one job done. Now gin is consumed with tonic water. And now tonic water history connects
Okay.
to India as well because it's Indian tonic water. And the reason is quinine because of it connect with malaria as a disease. And I was like,
Mhm.
perfect. That's where I need to touch upon and create a drink which is
Yeah.
a gin and tonic made for India. And that's how the idea came that let's take biryani. Biryani is a rice cooked with spices. Let's create a drink which has similar idea, similar concept based on the similar idea. So I took gin, infused that with turmeric because biryani is also put turmeric into it. So I took young
Mhm.
turmeric, infused that in gin. So it makes it nice, bright yellow color, makes it more flavorful and makes it more healthy as well. And gin was invented
Mhm.
by a doctor for the medicinal use. So it makes it totally Ayurvedic gin, to be honest. And that's how the base ingredient is ready. And then you make a gin and tonic out of it. That
Okay.
was the whole idea about it. Very simple, fresh, and easy drink. Now we're gonna make the drink. So we have the gin ready. I will also need some freshly squeezed orange juice to get sweetness to it, and that's it pretty much. That's only a few things that is required. As this is my home bar, yeah, if you want to make it in a proper bar, these are the cocktail shakers. But if you're making it at home, you can use a
Mhm.
jam jar. This is normal jam jar bottle. I've just reused this to make into a shaker for myself. Now, how to make it a drink out of it? So I'm gonna use orange juice. I'm gonna put
Okay.
20 ml of orange juice. So this will provide the citrus and the sweet flavor to the drink that is needed. I'll add a little bit of lemon juice, around 10 ml. So just to balance the drink, because sometimes tonic water tend to be a little sweeter and everything.
Mhm.
Little sugar syrup. Sugar syrup is one part sugar and one part water. You put it together. If you have honey, that is also a great ingredient to put in. So all
Okay.
put inside it. So this is all citrus mix that I put together. As I said, Nibu Pani, that's the idea behind it. Now you have gin ready. Now I'm
Mhm.
gonna add gin infused with turmeric,
Mhm.
a large measure of it that goes inside. You see that's the bright yellow color
Mhm.
that is ready. I'm gonna serve this drink in a glass, which is a wine glass, which is a
Yeah.
big, nice, easy. I'm gonna shake it,
Mhm.
put ice. So put ice and then you shake it. Perfect. You see, it's just gets more chilled and everything. Now, what you're gonna do is just strain it into the glass. So it's so simple that you can all make it at your home anytime. Like you can just, whenever you are watching it, you can make it. I'm gonna put an ice into it. There you go. For the garnish part, put any spice. Biryanis have different spices. So I have Javitri with me, which is mace. So I'm gonna put that because biryanis also use it. I'm gonna put it this beautiful on top. So I'm just putting that, and then finish it off with tonic water. So this is one of the most famous drinks across many different bars that I have put together, and it is so simple to make. Pretty much just orange juice, gin infused with turmeric, and tonic water. That's it. That's nothing else. But if you see the color, it's nice bright yellow, and it attracts a lot of people. So what works for this? As soon as it goes to a table, the guest who's looking at it, it's like, oh, that's beautiful color. I want one more. So it attracts people's eyes towards it, and it is really beautiful, tasty as well because it has turmeric into it, and psychologically it plays with mind that it has turmeric and everything, so it's really good for health, and then it works really great. So that's what City of Nizam is, inspired from Hyderabad as a city.
Nitin, a very important thing that you point out that the drink appeals to the eyes, you got great fragrance, you then order it on your table. Tell us about being a bartender and then coming up with drinks that appeal to your senses. Drinks being as much a sensory experience as food has become now. Take us through that journey that you've noticed over the last 15 years, and also how important are knowledge of basics where you know which alcohol to, which spirit to go with what mix.
As I was mentioning before, that drinks are not only about just a liquid that comes in a glass. There is a lot that goes behind it. While fixing drink, you really need to understand who is your guest and everything. Now, as a bartender and as a restaurant and bar owner, I really need to understand the people I'm catering to. Now, for example, what we do as bartenders, it was a funny game that started many years back when I was growing. My manager used to do it with us. He said, like, if a guest walks in, you need to know what that person needs to drink, what the person is planning to drink. And we used to, as bartenders, used to stand and it's like, okay, this person will drink single malt, or this person will drink a wine, or this person will drink a cocktail. If cocktail, which cocktail? And then what will happen? A server will go to the guest and take an order, and then we will see who was right in that. Now, how does it work? Every drink is made for an occasion. There is a time, there is a particular moment in which a drink will sell. Now, I'll give you a very simple example. If I give you a superpower, okay, the power is that you can go anywhere in the world, that wherever you want to be in this moment, and I'll give you a drink to go with. If I give you a glass of single malt, and I give you a power to go anywhere in this world, where will you be sitting with that glass of single malt, if you can imagine?
Single malt, Scotland.
Scotland. How is the weather like?
Nice and cold, not too cold, but yeah, just a bit nippy and.
Perfect, great. Now I will take that drink back. I'll give you the second drink. Okay, the second drink is pina colada. Okay. So you all know pina colada. Pina colada is the second drink. Where you are sitting with this drink?
Beach, vacation.
Perfect. So, okay, now you can understand how this works. Okay, it works very simple. As soon as I said pina colada, you said vacation. You said beach. Whereas a single malt took you to a nippy place, something which is cold, something which is Scotland, which is where it's come from, and that decides what a person will be. If you are in a place which is like a lounge place, which is dim lights and everything, that is a place where classic drinks will move. Similarly, if your place is nice open, which is greens and everything, with a beautiful view, and daytime place, your drinks will be like pina colada, mojitos and everything. So a lot goes behind the science of making drinks. about the flavors that you're picking up. Do you need to put drinks with crushed ice? Are you putting drinks with like spirit forward? And that's what you need to think while you're making a drink. And every small details comes in action while you're making a menu. A lot of people pay attention to it and they are very successful about it. A lot of people don't pay attention to it and are not able to succeed in their business. Now, some of the things that really helps, how the menu looks.
Okay. Nitin, coming specifically to this and adding to your point where you say how a drink should look, I wanted to also touch this a very important aspect of knowing the basics right, because a lot happened in the name of sensory experiences where people just went for visual appeal and forgot the basics. So do touch on that as well. Tell us what's happening internationally. I mean, what have you noticed? Some of the examples that you really uphold.
So, for me, there are two words, and there's a very big difference. There is something called theater, and there is something called drama. Now, people need to understand a difference between both. It is my definition. I might be wrong in it, but this is how I define it. When you put drama in your food or drinks, it might not have any sense behind it. You just do it because you want to attract eyeballs and you want to make it more Instagrammable, or you want to make it more trendy in social media or something like that. That is one thing. Whereas when you add theater, there is a reason, there is a specific thing behind it. Now, a lot of people add theater to their food because it adds an experience. Now, as I was talking about senses, I said sense of smell. It is a very important. A lot of people add dry ice on side of their food, and it creates vapor, white color vapors coming out of it, which has an aroma. That aroma is the first thing that you get smell, and that is the first thing that you understand about the food, and that's how your experience is created about the food. So that is called theater. But now, if you're just putting dry ice and hot water just to create a lot of smoke, and there is some small dish in the center and has no connection with that smoke, that is called drama. I think there has to be a very clear definition between why you are doing something. If you have the answer for why, it's a great thing. I completely appreciate anyone who is doing anything for a reason. There are a lot of great chefs, a lot of great bartenders who have done amazing drinks, using a lot of theater, using a lot of presentation, which has a lot of sense, a lot of relation to what they are doing. But if you're just doing it for the sake of making it more beautiful and everything, then it doesn't make a sense. Like, for example, when I did this drink, the city of Nizam, for the first time, we made an ice for this. The ice was called Katori ice. Okay, at that time, the big blocks of ice came in market big time. Everyone was doing it. Someone was people calling it that this is all stupid stuff. It's all people are following the trend. But we took that idea and we said we will do Katori ice. And the reason we did it, because in India, in Indian homes, you don't have access to ice tray. What you do is, when your relatives are coming over, you take any big bartan and you put water and you freeze it, because in that way you can make ice in big blocks. And that's what we did. We said, we are not that rich bar, we have big ice trays or something. We will freeze ice in katoris and we'll take that and we'll put it into our cocktail. And it created a connect with the whole culture of Indian drinks, because we are an Indian bar. And that made it more relatable for people. It made more sense. But if you are just doing it for the sake of making it more fun, then it doesn't have any connect with the people.
Okay. Nitin, what's a drink you suggest which will have connect with almost anyone and everyone in India? What's that drink of yours? If you can show it to us, if you can talk to us about that.
Connect with everyone in India. India is a huge country, to be honest, and it's very difficult to satisfy everyone with one kind of a drink. But while I've been working, I've realized that most of the people, a bigger chunk of the population, they're still getting into the field, into trying cocktails and everything. What works the most is something which is more citrus. Why I say so? Because it's not them, it is the weather country. India is a country which is hot and humid, and we like something which is more hydrating to us, something which is more sweet and citrus. And it is something that we have been having from our childhood. We have been having Nibu Pani,
Mm-hmm.
we have been having Shikanjis, we have been having Ampannas and all these
Okay.
things from our childhood. It's a taste
Mm-hmm.
profile which is being built. Now, if I suddenly give you something which you
Mm-hmm.
never had, like for example, the reason why bitter drinks are not popular in India, like Negronis and everything, they are coming up, they are becoming quite big slowly and steadily,
Yeah.
but it will take its
Mm-hmm.
own time. Why? Because it is not something we are used to each and
Mm-hmm.
every day. So people need to acquire that taste, whereas this is already acquired. We
Okay.
have been having from our childhood. Uh, I was like showing like few things
Mm-hmm.
how we create drinks. Like I follow this book. There is a book called Flavor Thesaurus. This is something which really helps us to create cocktails. Now we pick up flavors from this. Like for example, orange.
Oh, lovely. So, Nitin, there's actually a book that you keep handy, which is like a thesaurus of flavors.
Yes, exactly. So this is that book, The Flavor Thesaurus. This is a bartender's secret. This is our Bible in regards to thing. And I was introduced to this book by a chef. The thing is about this book is it helps you a lot in creating combinations. Now, how you create a flavor combination? No, mostly if you've had a flavor, it just creates a connect. Like for example, if I think of apple as a flavor, I know how apple tastes. And similarly, if I think of cinnamon, I can imagine that both flavors
Mm-hmm.
coming together because I have tasted them both separately, and I can imagine then how they will come together. But there are a lot of things that I would have not tasted them, or I can't imagine them as combination. What this book do? It will tell you what are the things that goes great with each other. So you can pick up
Mm-hmm.
anything in this world, like things that you might have not tasted, you might be seeing for the first time. Like for example, uh, I'll open a random page. Let me pick up, let's say the page that's open is basil. In local, we have also call it tulsi, another variety of it. It's tulsi basil. And what it does is it will tell you what all things basil go great with. So it says basil goes and anise, chicken, cloves, coconut, eggs,
Mm-hmm.
garlic, goat cheese, raspberry, shellfish, cheese, tomatoes. Now, if I connect now how it works, basil and tomato, it goes great. We all know it. It is used as a sauce in pastas and pizzas. Soft cheese, yes, there is a salad that's exactly like that. Now, basil and
Mm-hmm.
coconut is a great combination as per book. So now, if I'm making a pina colada, I can think of doing a basil colada because I am sure that it will go great as a combination. And that's how these books really help us bartenders and also chefs in creating flavor
Okay.
combinations. So if people are looking for some fun making cocktails and drinks, this might really help.
Oh, lovely. And what's the flavor combination you're going to be making for us now? What's one thing in your mind you want to show, which is as easy as City of
Yes, yes,
Desires?
it is very easy, and it is something that anyone can make it. I call these drinks as jugaad drinks because I want people to make it at home anytime, whenever they are at this full process. Uh, this drink also has a lot of history again back to India, and unfortunately, a lot of people don't know. So let's not waste any more time and jump into it. Perfect. Let's do this. So the next drink I'm gonna make is a punch. Now, punch as a drink. Do you know the history of punch? Where the punch comes from? Where it was invented? Who created it?
No?
Okay. Now,
Take
now
us through
the
it.
best part of punch, that punch as a drink. Now, if I tell you the origin of word punch, you all will be surprised. Punch is also this. Like a lot of people say punch. Now this is called punch because five five fingers comes together to punch. That means punch
Mm-hmm.
Hindi word gave birth to punch, the English word. And that's the reason that cocktail also, which is punch, has Indian origin.
Oh,
So punch cocktails were actually created in India, and Britishers, when they were in India, they saw it, and like many other things, they liked it, and they took it with them, and it became a drink which was popular globally. So French drinks has a history that goes back to India, and there is a reason why punches were created in India, not any other cocktail. Now, what is the reason? I love reading about it. There's a book called Punch by David Wunderlich.
mm-hmm.
He's a very big writer and historian in the field of beverages. And why punch was created in India? Because the kings and
Mm-hmm.
kings who were living in India, uh, they were facing one very big issue. Everyone in the kingdom what hated them. for one reason, because the king used to be the most powerful person, and everyone under them wanted to kill this king because they wanted to take the big seat, because they wanted to come into the power. Now, the best way to get rid of the king, they always used to do one thing, that if the king is having a drink, they will put poison into the drink and get rid of the king. So king decided that if from now on, if I'm going to drink something, I will make sure I will drink the same that but everyone around me is drinking. So if you're trying to poison me, you will also get poisoned and you will also die. So that's how the whole culture of community eating and community drinking started among the people. So punch idea started with a punch bowl. So they used to take a big bowl and make a drink in that, putting all the things. It is also because the alcohol that was made in that time, Madura, that was called at that time, was very harsh and very strong. So they used to put that and put all different fruits, juices, whatever they used to get, put it together and make a nice flavorful drink. And everyone used to take it from their ladle and drink it. So what will happen from that everyone is drinking the same, everyone is equal. And if you're trying to poison the king, the whole people who are drinking it, they will also get poisoned. And that's how the idea of punch started. Now, punch also as a drink has 5 ingredients. It has alcohol, it has sweet, it has sour, it has water, and it has tea or spice. And that's how a punch is created. It needs to have 5 ingredients. So today in this thing, I'm going to make a punch for you all. So I'm going to use my second jam jar. I have many different jars at home. I'm going to use them. They are all fun to play around with. So I'm going to use the juice that I have. You can use anything, orange, sweet lime, whatever you want. I have tea. So what I have done is just made tea water, warm water and tea. This is Earl Grey tea. So you can use any tea that you have at home. So orange juice, Earl Grey tea, lemon, sugar, and then you need one more part, which is spirit. So I'm going to use whiskey into it. So if you put all of them together, you will create a punch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Water is in tea. Also, you will put ice, and that will also make it a 5th ingredient, which is water. And if you put them together, the punch is created. So let's make the drink. The first one will be the tea. So I'm going to put this one. Now, Earl Grey tea is very aromatic and flavorful. I'm going to put around 60 ml of Earl Grey tea. So this will give the body to the drink. Nicely aromatic and nice flavorful. You can use anything, Assam, Darjeeling, whatever you like, all the flavors. Around 30 ml of orange juice or sweet lime juice. Now, just 10 ml of lime, just to balance the sweetness. Again, the same amount of sugar, 10 ml of sugar. And I'm going to add a large measure of whiskey.
Okay.
So now ice. So all things inside: tea, orange juice, lemon juice, sugar, and whiskey. 5 ingredients put together with ice, and we shake it. Nicely done, chilled, and ready to serve. Now, while traveling, as I said, I travel and I learn a lot. I said, how can I create a local drink? I also create fancy stuff. I have this puller, which I picked up from somewhere. So this is nice way, because traditionally in India, people have chai in terracotta glass. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to put 1 cube of ice in it, like that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to strain the drink. I'm going to garnish it. So For garnishing, this is also a small trick. Store your herbs, whatever you have, in an airtight box. It keeps them fresh for a really long time, just like mint and basil and everything. It's really good trick that helps.
Okay.
So take the mint leaves, just hit it outside. The reason I did it, the sense of smell. So when you will hold the glass from outside, your hand will start smelling of mint leaves. Now that will take you back to the drink every time you will smell your hand. Now I'm just gonna put this on top and few slices of oranges. That's it. Perfect. Easy. So simple, easy drink to make at home. Orange juice, lemon, sugar, put together with whiskey.
All the national passions, the whiskey, the tea, the sugar, the orange, and a drink aptly named Jugaad. I mean, couldn't have originated anywhere else other than India. That's
Yeah, I call it the Jugaad Punch.
the Jugaad Punch. Lovely. Great, Nitin. Thank you so much for this heady trail. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. I mean, thank you so much for joining in and telling us the tales behind the cocktails.
Thank you, sir. My pleasure.
Thanks to all of you for watching this edition of Passion Talk. Our series continues with many such amazing personalities and masterclasses lined up, with each having as exciting and interesting a personality as Nitin. Join in and live your passion. See you.